After what happened on Tuesday, I think it's fair to say that things have been changed a bit.
Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn, Saturday, April 26th.
I want to be seated as close to my enemies as possible.
The Benn Eubank rivalry has been taken up a notch.
His dad don't even like him. You could not pay that man enough money to sit in this man's corner. Now that's an accomplishment, Chris.
Some may say that hit the fan. Now, as you guys normally know, when I do a face-off, both fighters are in attendance. But to make sure the only fighting they do is April 26th, we've had to split things up. This is still face-off, but with a twist. This is Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn. How much do you wish that Chris was there?
I don't wish he was there at all, because there would be no fight April 26.
Really?
Yeah.
That much rage?
Yeah.
You know, when that incident happened, I've seen it in slow motion, I've watched it from different angles, and the one thing that stood out was your rage, how angry you were. And I remember thinking, Chris has either done the worst thing or the best thing. If Conor can control that rage, then it's perfect. If he can't, then maybe Chris has sort of played the game correctly.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting ironed out regardless. Whether it's, however it comes, however it gets delivered, he's going to be eating canvas April 26.
If his name wasn't Eubank, would you still feel the same about him?
Yeah, most definitely.
Really?
I think he's an idiot. I think he's arrogant. I think he's not my cup of tea at all, in the slightest.
Did you know immediately it was an egg? Because a lot of people thought it could have been something else.
I thought it was
glass.
I thought he had hit me with glass.
What would have happened if security weren't there? Like, seriously, knowing that there's a fight April 26, and you guys know, you're professional.
He would have been rendered unconscious. I'd have stomped on his head. I would have drop kicked him to his head. And then I would have lashed straight into him while he's unconscious.
Did it surprise you that he did it?
Did it surprise me? Of course it did, because it's out of character from him. Listen, I know I'm a fiery individual. I know I wouldn't go as far as to putting my hands physically on somebody. I think that's crossing the line. I would never raise my fist to someone. A little push and a shove's all right, a little tussle, no problem. Putting your hands on somebody is very different, and I've never done that in my career. But if I'd seen him now, it would have been a lot worse than that. If the security weren't there and there weren't 5 men holding me back, I would have had my hands around his neck.
Why do you think he did do it? Mind games already? Again, like you said, I agree, it's out of character. I didn't ever expect Eubank to do something like that. It was clearly premeditated, he had him in his jacket.
He's an idiot. Maybe he was just upset that I mentioned him owing Neymar 4 million quid, and that's the only reason he's taken the fight. Maybe that was what done it. I mean, maybe it's because I said his dad don't like him.
You point a lot of anger towards him.
Yeah, of course I do.
Is it because he's
There's
kind of...
things that have gone on that nobody knows about.
Okay.
That I'll keep private, but I can assure you on my life he's going to pay for April 26. I can assure you now he will pay the price. There's a lot of things that have gone on. We'll keep it between us, but he'll pay the price.
Let's separate the fighter, Chris, from the person, Chris. The person, Chris, you do not like. Do you respect him as a fighter?
The reason why I respect him as a fighter is because he has a dad who's a legend. Following in your father's footsteps is hard. I respect it. You're criticised, you're knocked back, you're told you can't achieve this, you're half the man your dad. All of that talk from young. Yeah. So I experienced it. I respect him for keeping it moving, carrying on, and establishing, you could say, his own name in his own way. That's where that ends. I mean, you're fighting a welterweight. If he was going to win a world title, it would have been now. Yeah. It would have been now, at the end of your career, past your prime. It would have been now. He's not interested in winning the world title. And do you know what? Because he knows he ain't good enough.
He's interested in fighting you.
He's interested in fighting a welterweight. Now, how would you feel if I said to you, I'm fighting a lightweight?
I'd have called you stupid.
Oh, exactly. So, and I think that sums it up. Why am I jumping up to 160 on the other hand? You know, you can flip it. Because I'm 28. My world title's still there. I've still got a good 6, 7, 8 years left in the game.
Would you say you're at the peak of your powers now then?
I would say so. I would say I feel a lot stronger based on numbers, based on the numbers, the PBs I'm hitting in the gym, which are consistent. Numbers don't lie.
What about his number? He's 35. That's the number that stands out with Chris right now. He looks good, still in great shape, but he's 35.
I think Algerian Van Herden were 35 when I banged them out.
So he's past his peak.
He'd rather be a professional poker player. He'd rather live it up with, you know, in Vegas, spending money he ain't got.
Neymar's and the rest of them.
Yeah, he'd rather be doing all that. You ain't one of them, mate.
You've also, though, agreed to fight him when there could have been a world title shot for you, right? There's a lot of talk about you fighting for a world title, something I know you want to do.
Of course.
Why have you put that to the side for this?
Because I feel like this is the sort of fight that will never go away. There's been WBC world title fight mentioned, and you know the only fight that still gets brought up is unfortunately this man that isn't here today because he's an idiot. It's the only fight that seems to get mentioned constantly, day in, day out. I understand the commercial value in the fight. I understand the pull it has. The reality is the Barrios fight doesn't sell out Tottenham Stadium.
No.
But as far as legacy, as far as career-defining fights, it's got to be Eubank.
What's the difference between you 2.5 years ago, October 2022, when it was supposed to happen, or thereabouts, to you now?
A man who's been through hell and back.
Has that hardened you physically as well as mentally, would you say?
It's hardened me more mentally. Definitely, it broke me, you know. And it took a lot of time and it just took a lot from me to heal. Still healing now, you could say. What's going in there and fighting another man? I've gone in there and fought. In America, I didn't even want to fight. I come out of the fight saying, I'm not even sure if I want to fight, Tone. I just ain't got it in me no more, you know, ready to wave my white flag.
He's bigger than you. You know, we saw the face-off.
Don't they?
The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Yes, sir.
You got to chop down the tree.
Yes, sir. I start from the top, though.
But he is going to be bigger than you. He's going to be the biggest person you've ever fought, Conor.
No problem. I love the challenge. You ain't heard me once mumbling about it. When have you ever once, in however long, however many times the fight's been arranged, I'm giving away, jumping up 2 weights. You don't hear me moaning about nothing. A fight's a fight. And then people want to moan up about the rehydration. It's a tactic. The rehydration was, the 8 to 9 pound was what they said they put on. All of a sudden it's jumped to 14. That was what their team suggested.
What is it? Is it 10 pounds?
10 pound. But 8 to 9 pound was what they said he put on. Now, I don't know if they had said that. Maybe them thinking that I wouldn't take the fight if he does put on an extra 1.5 stones or whatever it is. I'm not going in there fighting a light heavyweight. I'm jumping up 2 weight divisions. You tell me the last person who done that. Kell Brook, Golovkin. I'm jumping up 2 weights for this one fight. And then I will drop it down to 147 and capture the world title this year.
You said Kell Brook, Golovkin there. Jamel Charlo did it with Canelo. I point those two out because ultimately the bigger man won. They were brave in their jumps. Kell was brave in that fight against Golovkin. Jamel, maybe not so much against Canelo, but ultimately the bigger man won. Size means a lot in this sport. Size and experience means a lot. He's got both of those things on you. What do you bring to the table?
Sheer will, grit, determination, explosiveness to win. There is nothing that will stop me from beating that man April 26. You say size matters if size mattered, the elephant would be the king of the jungle.
That's a good point.
But it ain't, is it?
No, he's not. Not at all, actually.
Not at all. So as far as that goes, that man who's supposed to be sitting there is getting ironed out. He's getting muled.
Do you understand the pressure going into this one? Like the amount of pressure.
You're talking to someone who's dealt with pressure from 19.
Yeah, this is a different type of pressure, though, isn't it?
Pressure's pressure.
Because of who you're fighting.
No pressure. No. The pressure on him because he's got to retire if I whoop his ass.
Probably.
I don't. Yeah. The difference between me and in our career, the people seem to keep getting confused, He's done. He's finished. I'm just getting started.
When did you notice that? Was it the Liam Smith defeat or the
He's
fight
just
in
done.
Saudi?
It's not anything to do with his fighting. It's to do when you look in a man's eye and you look at him and you see a lack of hunger. You see different motivations, you see different whys. His why is very different to my why. My why is because I want to render him unconscious and I'll do anything at any cost to do that. His why is because he needs 4 million quid to pay Neymar back.
So he's in the
Very
sport now
different.
for money.
Of course he is.
Just money.
Why do you think he's fighting a welterweight? I still have aspirations and dreams of capturing that WBC world title.
Which one's more important for you, becoming a world champion or beating him?
Beating Eubank. Beating Eubank, for sure. See me, yeah, hand raised, him eating the canvas, face down, while me just
You smile,
looking
that means
over
you've
his body.
pictured it.
Yeah, no, I see it. I sit there and I see it. I'm sitting in the car, I'm driving, I see it. I'm sleeping, I see it. Giving it the old Ali over his body, face down.
What would you, if he was here right now, what would you say to him?
Oh, I wouldn't say anything.
Really, just stare?
I think I'm now at a stage now where the talking's done. Oh, when the talking's done, there's nothing else to be said. He's lucky he isn't there because he's lucky he ain't in the building because it'd only go one way.
Is there a small part of you that appreciates the fact that you've got a dance partner like him that can sell out the Tottenham, because not everyone's got good dance partners, right? That can sell at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. You two are like completely different, polar opposites. Are you a little bit happy that there is someone like
No, he
Chris
should be
around?
grateful. I'm having to jump up 2 weights. He should be grateful, not me. I'm all right, I fight any of these Yanks.
As you
Bring
have
them-
done.
Yeah, but I'll fight the top Yanks and bring them over here, or I'll come over there. Any of them fights that have been mentioned before sell out a stadium here. You be grateful, because you're the one who ain't got a dance. Well, you have got a dance partner, but you choose to avoid them at any cost.
Do you think he's avoiding those middleweights?
Oh,
The
100%.
Hamza Shirazes of the world,
most
Alan
definitely.
Canales. Yeah.
Most definitely. I mean, he may fancy Shiraz now because of their last outing. Yeah, he may fancy him, the draw. He may fancy him, but the reality is he's a shit house, and he bottled it for the world title. Bottom line, this was his chance to win a world title. Instead, he chooses to fight a welterweight.
Final one. Your dad looks like he's involved, which is good. It's always good to see Nigel around.
Involved how?
Involved, just being there. Even him just being at the background, just a shadow.
Well, he weren't really in the background.
No, he was. He was right there, and he got stuck in as well.
Yeah.
I saw him going for Chris as well. I saw it. Do you almost, because your dad's there, do you almost want his dad to be there as well, just so it is almost like the full crew, if you like?
I personally think if Senior's there, it's just a car crash. It's a car crash.
It's a good car crash, though.
Maybe for the viewers.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But I feel like, as much as I understand Senior disliking his son, as much as I would if that was my own son, it's still not nice to see. Because the bond I have with my dad is, I could hang up the gloves tomorrow, my dad's proud of me.
Yeah.
I could go back to doing my painting and decorating, and me and my dad's relationship will still be the same. My dad's in my corner through and through. Every decision I make, he backs. I think that's the father and son relationship you'd love to see most father and sons have, especially when you're in the same sport, especially when you're alike, especially when you're following in the footsteps of the man that made the path for you. It's not nice to see, and I hope they saw their relationship, because outside of boxing, life is short.
Yeah.
Like boxing's boxing, but then there's a whole life, but beyond that.
Conor, good luck. Cheers. Thank you.